Lipton Tea and Lipton Soup present Inner Sanctum Mysteries. Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum. This is your host to welcome you in through the squeaking door. We're having a party tonight for two of my favorite corpses. I call them Romeo and Juliet. They're newly deads, you know. Yeah, she's the daughter of a famous society murderer, and he's the pride of the East Side morgue. Oh, they're so happy together in their mausoleum built for two. And you should see the bridal casket.
Shame on you, Mr. Host, making fun of such a tragedy.
But, Mary, it was a touching ceremony. Of course, I stood up for the groom. Naturally, the poor fellow couldn't stand up for himself.
Oh, please. It's an occasion for tears, not for laughter.
That's right, Mary. Why, when the bride appeared wearing her grandmother's shroud, everyone had to be cheered up with Lipton tea.
Now, that's enough. I will not have Lipton's mentioned at a time like that. Lipton tea is for people who know how to enjoy life. These are the folks who really appreciate Lipton's famous brisk flavor. Yes, that word brisk, B-R-I-S-K, makes a big difference when you're sitting down to a cup of hot tea. Brisk means that Lipton tea tastes fresh and full-bodied, never flat or wishy-washy. I wish you'd try Lipton's, folks, even if you're not a regular tea drinker, because you just don't know how good tea can be till you know how good Lipton's is.
Well, Mary, let's tee off into tonight's story. It's called The Shadow of Death, and it's an original radio play by that boogie-woogie man, Robert Sloane. Yes, and our star tonight is Richard Widmark, who plays the role of Howard. All set? Then turn off the lights and let in the shadow of death. On a lonely dirt road that borders the village cemetery, a single car slows to a stop and parks in the moonless night. Inside it, a man leans back in his seat and reaches for the hand of the girl he loves.
Howard.
Yes, dear?
Why did you stop here? The cemetery's right over there.
Oh, I didn't notice.
You drove here last night, too.
Did I?
Yes.
Well, you're not frightened, are you?
Tonight I am. You've been so strange, so far away. I feel as if I hardly know you.
Darling, you mustn't feel that way.
What's the matter, Howard? There's something on your mind.
I'm going away, Marie.
Oh, no.
And I'm not coming back.
Howard, why?
Well, I don't really know if I can explain it. It seems so incredible, and yet I know it must be true.
What?
Something I've discovered about myself. Something strange and frightening, Marie. Wherever I go, I seem to cast a shadow. A shadow of death.
I don't understand.
No, I didn't either at first. I thought it was just a strange coincidence. But it isn't. It's me. I bring death wherever I go.
Oh, Howard, you don't really believe that.
Well, how can I believe anything else? Haven't you noticed what happens to every living thing I have around me?
No.
I can't keep a pet of any kind, a cat or a dog. Even a plant dies when I have it in the house.
Oh, darling, that's just your imagination. You've been working too hard. You need a rest.
No, I'm going away, Marie. I don't want any harm to come to you.
Oh, no, please. Nothing's going to happen to me. This is just...
What's the matter?
Oh, nothing. I was just looking at the flowers in my corsage.
Good heavens. They're dead. You don't believe me either, do you, Doctor?
Well, let's not put it on that basis, Howard. After all, I've been trained to look for the physical causes of death, not the supernatural.
Then what do you think I should do?
Frankly, I'd like you to spend a few weeks away from these surroundings. Go up to the sanitarium I told you about. They'll take good care of you up there.
All right, Doctor. I'll make arrangements to go tomorrow. But I know it won't do any good.
You'll be surprised, Howard. 2 or 3 weeks from now, you look back on this as a...
Yes?
That's strange. Those goldfish in my aquarium. They're all dead.
Tell me the truth, Howard. Are you comfortable here in the sanitarium?
They don't believe me. They don't believe that people die when I dream about them.
People die?
Yes, didn't you know that? Every time I have a dream about someone, it's a sign of death. And the next morning when I wake up, I look in the obituary column and I see the name of the person I dreamt about.
Oh, Howard, what have they done to you here?
Nothing, only they don't believe me. The dreams, I mean. I had to prove it to them this morning. And it made me feel very bad.
What made you feel bad?
The dream I had last night. I killed a man, Marie.
What?
I killed him in my dream.
Oh.
He was a good friend of mine, too. He lived right across the hall.
Oh, Howard, please, you've got to get hold of yourself.
But I'm afraid, Marie. I don't want to dream anymore.
Oh, darling, I can't bear to see you this way.
What way?
I'll get you out of here. I promise, Howard. I'll get you out of here today.
But, Marie, there isn't a chance of getting him out. He may have to stay in this institution for months.
Oh, no. Dr. Gerard, can't you see what's happening to him? He's losing his mind.
Well, I know he's taken a turn for the worse. That's all the more reason for keeping him here. It might be dangerous to discharge him now.
Then why don't you do something to help him?
We're doing everything we can. It's not easy. He persists in thinking he has this strange power of death. Nobody is able to convince him he's wrong.
What about the man across the hall? Howard said they were good friends.
That's another thing. They were good friends. But unfortunately, that man died this morning.
Come in.
Ah, good morning, Howard. How do you feel today?
Oh, much better, Doctor. Much better.
No bad spells last night? No curious moods?
No, I feel fine. Almost well enough to go home.
Let me look at your eyes.
You will let me go home again, won't you, Doctor?
Yes, Howard, of course, of course. You, haven't had any of those dreams lately, have you?
No, not for a long time.
Are you sure?
Well, I did have one last night.
You dreamt that someone was dead?
Yes, I did, but I know it's not true. It can't be true.
Whom did you dream about? Marie?
No, Doctor. I dreamt about you. That's why I know I'm wrong. You're alive, Doctor. Don't you understand? You've proven it to me.
Easy now, Howard. Tell me about your dream.
Well, I dreamt I was going home, and all the people I'd killed in my dreams were alive again.
Yes, go on.
Well, somehow or other, I could see my house from this window, and everything was just as it was a long time ago. The flowers were growing, the dog was in the yard.
The one that was run over?
Yes, everything was well again, and I was well, too. That's why I wanted to go home. But you and Marie's mother didn't want me to.
She was in the dream, Marie's mother?
Yes, I don't know how she happened to be there, but she was.
That's all right, Howard. Go on.
Well, I started to leave, Doctor, but she held me back. She held my arms like this, and then you jumped up to ring the bell for help. But before you reached it, I was on top of you like this.
Oh.
I had my fingers around your throat, and I was squeezing it so hard, I could feel your windpipe bending back until you couldn't breathe anymore. Howard, let go. That's what you said last night, you fool. You wanted me to let go, but I held on until your face turned as blue as it is now. It was almost black before I let you go. But first I made sure you were dead. And then I dropped the body. You see, Doctor, my dreams do come true.
Well, have you had any good dreams lately? Howard has. And you know, his dreams don't need interpretation. No, they need cremation. Say, it's a lucky thing that guy works on the night shift. It'd be awful if he had daydreams, too.
Good gracious, yes. His dreams not only walk, they commit murder.
Mary, I was about to say that. Please leave the jokes to me. How would you like it if I talked about tea? Hmm?
Well, for goodness sake, I listened to the story, too. And I must say I'm glad I'm not his, dream girl.
That does it. Friends, let me tell you about Lipton tea.
All right, you win. But it's only because I have something important to say about Lipton's. Folks, did you know that Lipton's is the largest selling brand in the whole world? Yes, and the reason for that is Lipton's well-known brisk flavor. You know, that word brisk is the tea expert's word for tangy, full-bodied tea, for Lipton tea. Lipton's is always fresh and spirited, never flat or wishy-washy. That's why lots of people drink it not just at meal times, but whenever they're taking it easy for a minute during the day. So, folks, try Lipton's and get acquainted with that brisk flavor.
Well, let's get back to our dream man and find out what he does in his waking moments. When we left him last, he had just done a little manual work on Dr. Gerard's windpipe. And now, as the good doctor lies comfortably on the sanitarium floor, Howard is in the process of going through his pocket.
Well, I'll have to have the keys to your car, Doctor. I'll need them to get back home. I hope you won't mind if I hide you under this bed. It may take them a little bit longer to find the body if I do. But... Yes, who is it?
Dr. Frisbee, Howard. May I come in?
Well, yes. Yes, I'll open the door. What is it, Doctor?
Well, I was looking for Dr. Gerard. I thought he was in here.
Oh, yes, he was a moment ago. I think he went down the hall.
No, I just came from there. I guess he went back to his office.
Oh, yes, I guess he did.
How are you making out, Howard?
Fine, Doctor, fine.
You seem a little nervous. Your hands are shaking.
Oh, well,
You see, you've dropped your keys.
I'll get them.
It's all right, Howard. I wasn't going to take them away from you. But I am wondering how you happen to have any keys in your possession.
Well, they're not really mine.
Whose are they, Dr. Gerard's?
Yes, he left them here. I mean...
You mean you stole them from him?
No.
Oh, come, Howard. You can't expect me to believe Dr. Gerard would give you any keys. Now, you'd better let me have them so I can give them back.
But I didn't...
Let me have them, Howard. Thank you.
You won't tell him I took them, will you?
No, Howard, I won't tell. But please don't take them again.
I'll go anyway. I'll get out onto the road and I'll get a hit, yes, sir. I'll get away. I've got to speak to Marie. Going down, mister? Guess not. I guess I'm not... Oh, here comes another one. Hey, stop! Give me a ride, will you? Give me a ride, please, mister? Oh, he's stopping. Hey, wait for me, will you, mister? I'm coming. I'll be right there. Oh, gee, thanks, mister. You going into town?
Yes, Howard, but you're not.
Dr. Frisbee.
Yes, I've been watching you ever since you took those keys. I thought you'd try something like this.
Well, I had to, Doctor.
I understand. Better get in the car, Howard, so we can talk this thing over.
All right.
You know, it's silly to run away from our place up there. If you really want to go home, all you have to do is ask.
I did ask.
When?
This morning. Oh, wait a minute. Don't start the car.
Why not?
There's a truck coming. In back.
Where?
Oh, Howard, let go of me, Howard.
I've got to have this car, Doctor. When I'm finished with it, I'll return it to you.
Hello?
Hello, Mrs. Walker.
Who's this?
Howard. You remember me, don't you?
Howard, where are you?
In a telephone booth around the corner.
You're not in the sanitarium?
No, I've been discharged. Dr. Gerard said I could go.
You mean you're well again?
Yes, I'm completely cured.
Oh. Oh, I see.
You don't sound very happy about it, Mother. Where's Marie?
She's out on a date.
When will she be back?
Well, I don't know, Howard. She didn't say.
I've got to see her again, Mrs. Walker. I've got to see her once more before I die.
Before you die?
Yes, I haven't much longer to live. Now, where is she?
Well, I think she said she was going to movies.
You're lying.
I'm not, Howard. I just can't be sure. But if you go to the theater, you might find her there.
You don't want me to see her, do you?
No, not until I've spoken to Dr. Gerard.
Why? Don't you believe me? Don't you believe I'm well again?
No, Dr. Gerard...
Never mind what he said. Mrs. Walker, you mustn't dislike me. I'm very fond of you.
You are, Howard?
Yes. I've been thinking a lot about you lately, while I was in the sanitarium. Last night, I even had a dream about you.
Keep ringing that number, operator. I've got to locate Dr. Gerard.
Why the hurry, Mrs. Walker?
Howard, how did you get in here?
Through the back door. Put that phone down, please.
But
Put it down, I said.
Yes.
You lied to me about Marie being at the movies, Mrs. Walker.
I didn't mean to, Howard. I told you I wasn't sure she was there.
Where is she? This time I've got to know.
Howard, how dare you? Take your hands off me.
I'm not in a gentle mood, Mrs. Walker. I'm fighting against time.
You've done something wrong, Howard. You've escaped from the sanitarium.
No, I've done more than that, Mrs. Walker. I've killed a man.
Howard.
2 men, 3 men. I can't remember how many it was, but there's going to be one more.
Howard, you wouldn't kill me, would you?
Wouldn't I? What have you done to deserve your life?
There...
Let it ring.
But that may be my call.
Your call is coming now, Mrs. Walker.
Howard, please, put down that knife.
Will you tell me where Marie is?
I told you I don't know. I don't know.
Then I'll wait for her. Right here.
Howard, you can't. No, you can't. Oh!
Yes, I can, Mrs. Walker. Hello?
Hello, this is Dr. Frisbee Sanitarium calling. Is Mrs. Walker there?
I'm sorry. You have the wrong number. Marie, darling?
What? Why, Howard. Howard, what are you doing here?
I've been waiting for you to come home, darling. Aren't you glad to see me?
Oh, yes, of course I am. It was such a surprise I couldn't catch my breath for a minute. Where's Mother?
Upstairs. Why?
Oh, I just wanted to know.
You had no other reason?
No. Howard, why are you staring at me?
I'm not really staring. I'm just looking at you, darling. It's been such a long time since I've seen you. I'd almost forgotten what you were like.
Well, let's go inside.
No, if you don't mind, darling, I'd rather go for a ride.
You're all right, aren't you, Howard? I mean, you're completely well now.
Oh, can't you see I am?
Yes, but yes.
Then let's not wait any longer, darling. Come on, we'll go for a ride.
Getting late, Howard. Don't you think we ought to go back?
No, not yet, Marie. You just keep driving. These few moments we have together, maybe I'll... Marie, why are you stopping here?
We're low on gas, dear. I don't want to get stuck on the highway.
Oh.
Yes'm? What'll it be?
You better fill her up.
All right.
And have you got a telephone here?
Yes'm, right inside.
Thank you.
Wait a minute, Marie. What do you want with a telephone?
Oh, I was going to call my mother. She'll be worried about me.
Oh, no, she won't. She knows you're with me. Besides, she went out for a little while.
Well, maybe she's back by now. It won't hurt to call, will it?
No, I guess it won't.
I'll be right back, Howard.
Well, hurry, darling. I want to be with you as much as I can.
Yes, I won't be a minute.
Number, please.
Operator, quick, get me the police. This is an emergency.
Yes, ma'am, right away.
Headquarters, Sergeant Dunn speaking.
Sergeant, listen carefully. I won't have time to repeat it. The murderer of Dr. John Gerard is right here in a filling station on Route 6 at the Hadley intersection. What shall I do? I can't keep him here.
Does he know you're onto him?
No, he doesn't know I read the story in a newspaper just before I got home. He was waiting there for me, and I haven't been able to get to a phone since.
Well, don't take any chances. He's a homicidal maniac. Don't even try to stall him if he wants to leave.
No.
Just stay where you are, and we'll be over there in 4 minutes.
Oh, no, that's no good. He won't let me stay here. He'll take me with him.
Marie.
Oh, he's calling for me now.
Marie.
Just a moment, Howard. What can I do, Sergeant? What can I do?
Give me the description of the car, quick.
It's a dark blue sedan. License number 468J3. We've been going east on Route 6. Oh, I can't talk anymore. He's coming.
Marie, for heaven's sake, what kept you so long?
Oh, I had a hard time getting the number. There was something wrong with the lines.
But you were talking to somebody.
Yes, I was speaking to Mother.
You were speaking to your mother?
Yes. She told me not to stay out too late.
You're lying, Marie.
No, I'm not, Howard. I talked to her.
You talked to the police. That's why you lied to me.
No.
You did. Your mother's dead.
Howard.
I know, because I killed her.
No.
Be quiet. Get back into the car. You're coming with me.
No, Howard. Howard, you're hurting my arm.
Get back in the car.
Hey, you leave her alone.
Keep out of this, you fool.
Leave her alone.
I told you to keep out of this.
Howard, no.
Hey, put down that wrench.
Now put it down.
Howard, how could you?
Never mind. Get into the car.
Howard, why are you stopping here?
Don't you know where we are, Marie? This is the cemetery.
Where we stopped before.
Yes. I like it here. It's so quiet and peaceful among the dead. Let's walk through the grounds.
Howard, please.
Why not, Marie? We're among friends. So many of our loved ones are buried here. It's nice to be near them. Come on, Marie.
All right, Howard.
You know, darling, we haven't much more time together. The shadow of death has fallen across our path.
You said something like that before, but you never told me why.
I'm being selfish, Marie. I know I have to die, and I want you to come with me.
Why do you have to die, Howard?
Because I haven't been true to myself, darling. I haven't been true to this power I have.
The power of death?
Yes. I've helped it along sometimes. Like that dream I had about my friend in the sanitarium. Like the flowers in my garden. Like those fish at Dr. Gerard's.
You killed them?
Yes. I knew they were going to die. But I shouldn't have helped them. That's why I'm being punished.
But, Howard, why are you punishing me?
I don't want to die alone, Marie. We've been away from each other so much, darling. I want us to be together from now on.
But...
Don't be afraid, darling. I'll be gentle, Marie. So gentle.
But you're making a mistake, Howard.
No.
You are. You've forgotten what you've done. You can't kill me, darling.
Why not?
Why, good heavens, Howard, don't you remember? Don't you remember that day at the sanitarium? You said you dreamt about me.
No. No, I couldn't have.
Yes, you did. Didn't they tell you what happened?
No.
Your dream. Your dream, it was true. That's why you can't kill me now.
Marie, you mean...
Yes, Howard. I'm dead.
I can't believe it.
Oh, you must believe it. Here. Look at this tombstone. My grave is right here.
No.
Read what it says. Read the name on it.
It's your name, Marie. Your name. Marie Walker.
Yes.
Then you really are dead.
I told you I was, Howard. The shadow of death passed over me.
Then let it pass over me.
Hey, got him, Sam. Got him the first shot. Keep out of the way, miss. He may not be dead yet.
No, I'm sure he's dead.
Well, you certainly had a close call. Took us all this time to locate your car. Finally spotted it on the road. You all right?
Yes, sir, I'm all right.
Yeah.
The name of my grandmother's tombstone saved me.
How's that?
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Say, that's funny.
What?
This guy was shot through the shoulder. My bullet wounds weren't serious enough to kill him.
What do you mean?
Well, I know it sounds crazy, but my shots didn't kill him. He was dead before I hit him.
What a shame. Wasting 2 perfectly good bullets on a guy that was dead all the time. Well, at least they won't have to go far to bury him. Here's one villain who died practically in the middle of his own plot. Isn't it funny how many of our stories seem to take place in cemeteries? You know, Mary, I think you ought to open up a concession in the cemetery. And you know what you could sell. Hmm?
Don't say it, don't you dare. You know very well that the place to buy Lipton tea is and always will be your neighborhood grocery store. And, folks, that reminds me. You'll find it wiser to buy Lipton's in the larger, more economical size packages. That way you not only save money, but you also make sure that you won't run short on a beverage that's really a household necessity. Brisk-flavored Lipton tea.
Well, before I put the skeletons back in their closets, I'd like to give you a parting word of advice. A body should never be left alone at the morgue at night. After all, it might become slab happy. Oh, by the way, this month's Inner Sanctum mystery novel is The Whistling Legs by Roman McDougald. Yes, and let me tell you about next week's Inner Sanctum story. Directed by Hyman Brown and brought to you by Lipton Tea and Lipton Soup. You know, usually our stories are about people who live 6 feet under the ground. But for next week, we've dug a lot deeper. In fact, it takes place in China. And as a special added attraction, we've unearthed a new kind of character for you. Unearthed is right. This guy's been dead for 20 centuries. And now it's time to close the squeaking door, so good night. Pleasant dreams.
Ladies, if your child comes home from school for lunch, you want to give him a quick but appetizing meal. And that's why you should serve Lipton's noodle soup. You see, Lipton's takes no time to prepare, and yet it has a fresh-cooked, old-fashioned chickeny flavor, and is just swimming with tender golden egg noodles. Your children will love Lipton's grand homemade taste. So don't forget to serve Lipton's noodle soup. And don't forget to tune in next Tuesday night for another Inner Sanctum mystery.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Lipton Tea and Lipton Soup present Inner Sanctum Mysteries. Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum. This is your host at the squeaking door again. Just, slither in and let me dispel your weariness with a bit of eeriness, hmm? Oh, no, please. Don't sit in that chair. I'm, saving it for rigor mortis to set in.
Oh, dear. I see this is going to be one of those nights when my favorite character gets killed.
Yes, Mary, but don't scream blue murder because this is a corpse of a different color.
Well, if it's going to be that kind of a story, I'd better tell folks about something cheerful first. Yes, I mean Lipton tea. Lipton's is such a friendly, welcome drink. And that's because of its brisk flavor. Now, that word brisk is important. It means that Lipton tea always tastes fresh and full-bodied, tangy and vigorous. It's never flat or wishy-washy. That's the reason why Lipton seems to make good food taste better, and why Lipton tea is the perfect beverage to serve when you're entertaining friends. So even if you're not a regular tea drinker, you should try Lipton's. That brisk flavor makes all the difference in the world.
And now let's leave the world, temporarily, of course. Tonight's story is called The Lonely Sleep. It's an original radio play by Christopher Mayo, who scribbled it during a nightmare. And our star is Carl Swenson, who plays the role of Archie Gold. Murder is a specter which nudges all of us, anywhere. Most of us will never murder, but can any of us say we never will? Certainly Archie Gold, 30-ish, bald and mild-mannered, never thought he would murder. Archie was the window display man for Greg's department store. At night, the store is a fantastic nightmare of eerie shadows, covered showcases, cavernous depths, and dank, stale odors, with only his own hollow footsteps for sound, because windows are dressed at night. It's night now, and Archie's busy in his storeroom crating his favorite mannequin for shipment to the mannequin factory. Being a lonely man, he talks to the mannequin. And being in love with Esther Newman of the store's accounting office, he naturally calls his favorite mannequin Esther.
You've been very mean to me, Esther. The last time I asked you to go out with me, you snickered at me. That's not nice. That's why I had to do this to you.
Archie tucked Esther's smooth pink torso into a crate.
There. Perfect fit, darling. Perfect.
Then Archie wrapped Esther's slim legs and arms in excelsior, tucked them into another crate.
So, you wouldn't put your arms around me, darling. Well, you won't get another chance.
Then Archie picked up Esther's pretty head and placed it on his workbench.
Oh, Esther. I'm so lonely. Why don't people talk to me? Why can't I be popular? What's wrong with me? Why don't you go out with me?
What Archie never dreamed was that the real Esther Newman was at that moment slamming the last of her monthly report books closed, flicking off the light, and starting out of the finance office toward the rear door of the store.
Oh, Esther, I want to tell you.
She stopped by Archie's half-open door when she hears his voice.
No, listen to me, Esther, darling. I am making enough money here to buy us a little place over in Jersey. See, all my life, I wanted to love someone like you. You're so beautiful. You will marry me, won't you, darling?
Why, Archie, go. Sitting there proposing to a dummy, and the dummy's name is Esther. What a coincidence.
Well, Esther, you worked late? I didn't know. No. I mean, yes, I give the mannequins names. It's sort of a game. Yeah, game. That's it.
Well, they don't talk back anyhow.
No, they don't talk back. But they're sort of kind. They smile at me. And, see, I'm lonely. Mm-hmm. I work all night. And, Esther, will you go out with me Sunday night? Mm-hmm. Please. Just dinner and the movies.
Are you kidding? Why don't you ask your dummy friend? Hey, say what a swell idea. She won't eat much. You can maybe get her into the movies for half price, and when you kiss her goodnight, Archie, she won't slap your face. Why are you looking at me that way?
You shouldn't laugh.
You're crazy. You're trying to scare me. Yes, that's it. No, you're not. You are crazy. Don't come near her. Archie!
You shouldn't laugh.
Archie, don't.
You shouldn't laugh. My turn to laugh. See? My turn. You shouldn't laugh. People Shouldn't laugh when you're lonely.
You see, the specter of murder had nudged Archie, and he's obeyed. This was no mannequin at his feet. This was a woman, warm, beautiful, and dead. Then, being scared and lonelier than ever, Archie talked to his mannequins again. This time to Frank, painted and rouged and handsome in Greg's bargain $29.50 tweed suit.
You heard her laughing at me, Frank. I just couldn't stand her laughing at me again. See, look at her, Frank. You'd think she was asleep. Her neck's broken. See, what am I going to do with her? I gotta think. Gotta hide her. Gotta dress the front window, too. The window. Sale of Cozy Kitten mattresses starts tomorrow. It's a big sale. Sleep on a Cozy Kitten. I've got it, Frank. The window. I've put her in the window on a Cozy Kitten mattress, and nobody'll know. And then tomorrow night...
So Archie used some pancake makeup, bringing life to Esther's sallowing cheeks and purple lips. He placed her dead weight on a hard truck. He rolled her to the lighted window. An hour later, Esther's corpse, covered with gleaming white sheets and sleazy satin quilts, smiled in peaceful bliss at the empty street. Archie found his work well done.
Nothing more to do now. Just wait. I'll go home. And wait. That's a good window. You look very pretty in bed, Esther.
I've been watching you, young fella. Saw you do the whole thing. What's the matter? I scare you?
No, officer. I didn't know.
Yeah, I've been in the doorway across the street watching you. A lot of work to making up one of them windows, ain't there?
Yeah. You saw me do the whole window, you mean?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Saw you put the mattresses in, make the bed, put the signs in, then fix the lights. Then you put the girl in the bed and fix her face up. Yeah, it's a nice job.
Yeah.
Say, you look bad, son.
Yeah.
Anything wrong? You sick?
Huh? No. I'm just tired.
All through for the night?
Yeah, I'm all through. Good night, officer.
Good night, young fella, and don't worry about your girlfriend. I'll keep an eye on her every night.
So Archie went home, as you or I might have done. And because he'd been too busy setting his little post-mortem stage, the impact of his crime began to seep through only as he neared his rooming house. Maybe the girl in the doorway he'd passed started him thinking because she laughed.
Are you kidding?
Just a girl and a date. But you can't blame Archie for hurrying. You would have thought it was Esther, too. Archie hurried. He hurried to the rooming house. He raced up the steps. He had to get to his room, get in and close the door. Oh, world. Close the door. That's it.
They can't laugh at me here. They won't find me here. This is my room. Nerves. Stupid running like that. I've got to act normal. Sure, just like nothing happened. I couldn't help it. She made me do it. No, forget about it.
Why, Archie, gold.
No. You can't laugh now. You're...
I'm dead, Archie. Yes, in a way. I'm in Greg's department store window.
I don't believe in ghosts. It's just my mind, my imagination.
That's right, Archie. You're too clever to believe in ghosts. I'm not a ghost, Archie. I'm in your mind. I'm part of you now. Part of you.
Get out! I'll drive you out.
Oh, no, Archie. You can't. Unless, Archie, unless you replace me with someone else.
Yes. That might do it. Someone else. Another girl.
See? That's how a murderer thinks. Oh, yes. You do the same thing. Archie never thought he would murder. Now he's ready to do it again. Get rid of his conscience, to get rid of a voice. Archie lit a cigarette. He poured himself some milk, ignoring the laughter in his brain until it pushed through again.
Look at your hands, Archie. Look at them. Oh, crooked and hard and clutching.
Oh.
Like they were on my throat.
Ah, shut up!
Archie threw himself on the bed and jammed the pillow against his ears. Fell into a dream worse than reality.
Hello? Huh?
Archie Gold?
Yeah, this is Archie Gold.
This is Mr. Gregg, Archie. I know this is your time to sleep, but it's important that you get down here right away.
Is anything wrong, Mr. Gregg?
I can't tell you over the phone. Come down here. Goodbye.
All right, Mr. Gregg.
After he'd shaved and dressed, Archie felt a little better. After all, if they'd discovered anything, Mr. Gregg wouldn't have called. He'd have sent the police. Feeling of confidence stayed with him until he stood across the street from Gregg's. He lost it then. It dropped with a sickening pain about his heart and a dry pinching about his lips. People were standing 3 deep in front of his window display, and he caught sight of a policeman's cap following Mr. Gregg's bald head into the store. Well, were you thinking of going window shopping tomorrow? Want to be popular? Have lots of people crowding about you on the sidewalk side of a plate glass window. Want to be a mannequin? Look up Archie Gold. He's the mannequin doer.
Well, all I can say is I'm glad that murderer is about to be caught.
Why, Mary, don't talk that way. It was really kind of Archie to put her on the mattress. She was so sleepy. In fact, she was dead to the world. Yes, the one to feel sorry for is Archie. Why, the poor fellow's shivering. Why don't you make him a cup of Lipton tea?
Lipton's is too good for him. And besides, he's probably too scared to taste the difference between Lipton's and ordinary teas. Yes, folks, Lipton tea is different. In the language of tea experts, Lipton's has a brisk flavor. And when they use that word brisk, B-R-I-S-K, they mean that Lipton tea tastes tangy and spirited, really full-bodied. It's never flat or weak. So get acquainted with that brisk flavor. Why, you just don't know how good tea can be till you know how good Lipton's is.
Well, let's see how good Archie's alibi is. Remember Archie, the lonely little man who dresses Gregg's department store windows at night? He just couldn't stand being spurned by Esther Newman any longer. She laughed at him when he asked for a date, and now Esther is a lifeless mannequin advertising the restful qualities of cozy kitten mattresses in the window display. And Archie enters the store to see what's in store for him.
Mr. Gregg, I'm,
Archie Gold, come in. Close the doors. Sit down. My boy, you know Miss Newman in our bookkeeping department?
Yes, sir. I knew her, but I'd like a chance.
You're going to get a chance, my boy. Before leaving on a week's vacation, Miss Newman completed our annual report.
Miss Newman is on vacation?
Yes. Which isn't important. The report shows we sold 16 cozy kitten mattresses in 1 year.
Well, that's not many, is it, sir?
It's terrible. We were stuck with 1,500 of them. Just a minute now. Jenkins.
Yes, Mr. Gregg?
How many mattresses have you sold now?
802, sir.
You hear that, Gold?
Yes, sir.
802 mattresses in a couple of hours. And your window display did that. My boy, you're a genius.
Mr. Gregg,
No. I know just what you're going to say.
Any man who has the imagination to put a woman dummy asleep in a window, and such a dummy, so peaceful. How much are we paying you, Archie?
It's $36.47 a week, sir.
Starting today, it's $72.94. And a private office, and you're the head window display manager of my 3 stores. Ha! Stunned you, huh?
Everything I've always wanted.
What's more, I've had pictures taken of that window with the crowds, and the paper promised to run it in tonight's edition. With your name. Good?
Yes, sir. I want you to know, sir, I appreciate it.
Oh, nonsense. Greg knows a bargain. Now go home to bed again, or take tonight off.
Oh, no. I have work to do.
Get more good ideas? Good.
Mr. Gregg.
Yes, my boy.
If the mattresses are selling so well, we won't need the display. I can take it out to...
Oh, nonsense. Don't touch it. We'll run this sale for 2 weeks. I just ordered 1,500 more mattresses.
Success and popularity was sweet to Archie's taste. But Archie knew a corpse, no matter how beautiful, cannot survive the sun beating through glass for long. And Archie knew that. It was a wretched rainy night. Greg's department store had long since closed its doors. The night belonged again to Archie. Now he had a nasty job to do. He drew the curtains across the big window, in case the officer was watching again. Esther was just a mannequin now, a mannequin of flesh and bones, but a mannequin. And Archie spoke to his mannequins.
You've had a hard day, Esther, darling, haven't you? Well, it's all over now. You never did anything for me alive. Dead, you brought me success. Now I've got to send you away. You're stiff and cold, Esther. And you can't laugh now, can you?
Esther couldn't laugh, and Archie opened the crates which contained the mannequin he had originally planned to ship. With a few simple tools and lots of work, he made Esther, the real Esther, conform to his original shipment. A torso, a pair of hands.
No. Who? Oh, that's the alley door. Somebody's there. Gee, a cop, maybe. I've got to act natural. After all, she's well hidden.
Could I come in? Please, I'm so wet and tired.
A girl. It's a girl. Yes. Come in. Get out of that rain.
Thanks.
Why, you poor kid, you're soaked. Come into the workshop. I've got a heater in there.
Gosh, thanks.
She was sent to me. Someone to take Esther's place. Feel better now?
Yeah, lots better. You're very kind.
How did you happen to pick this store to knock at?
Well, the alley seemed a good place to get out of the wind. It started to rain, and I saw your light.
Oh, I see. And you're broke.
Yeah. The usual story. I came to town from Philly to get a job. Job was there, all right, but the boss wasn't on the level.
Well, don't you have a home? Parents or a husband, I mean? Oh, that's
no.
a shame. Look, stay right there now. I'll be right back.
You're not leaving me, are you?
No, I'm going to get a blanket to put across your shoulders. I'll be right back.
Of course he'd be right back. Wasn't this just what he needed? Another mannequin to satisfy Esther's voice? It made sense. The second time, it's easier. It always is.
Don't move, May.
Huh?
I'll put it across your shoulders.
All right. You're a very lonely man, aren't you, Mr. Gold?
How do you know that?
Because I like you.
How does that prove I'm lonely?
I like lonely people.
Why?
Because I'm terribly lonely myself.
I got some coffee in the thermos here. I'll get you some.
I like it here. I like to look at the mannequins, especially that handsome one there. What do you call him?
What do you mean, call him?
Well, you must talk to them. I would.
You're wonderful. You understand.
Yeah, I do. I do talk to him. His name's Frank. Frank, meet May. May, this is Frank.
Hello, Frank. I'm sleepy, Frank.
Oh, May. Why did you come tonight? Why couldn't you have come 2 nights ago? You're sleepy?
Mm-hmm. I'm warm and sleepy.
Look, I have 3 hours before my window has to be finished, and I have an errand that'll take me about an hour. You climb into the bed in the window and...
People will see me in the window.
No, the curtains are drawn. I'll wake you when I get back.
All right. Looks like the kind of bed I could sleep on forever. Ever.
Doesn't always work out the way you plan it, see? Archie didn't want to murder Esther, but he did. Archie wants to murder May, but he'd rather not. Well, Archie drew the satin quilts over May. She smiled, closed her eyes with a murmured thanks, and was asleep. Archie knew now he loved her, that he must never listen to her speak again. While Archie carried the crates containing Esther's remains into the station wagon in the alley, a little man with a sad, droopy face and a derby hat argued with the night captain of the local police station.
I tell you, I know what I'm talking about. I stopped at Greg's window 4 times today. I know a corpse when I see one.
Well, I saw that window, too. That's a dummy in that bed. I know a dummy when I see one.
I don't doubt that, Captain. You've had more experience with dummies than I have, but I've had more experience with corpses than you have. That's a dead girl in the bed.
Now, what makes you so sure?
I've been an undertaker for 40 years. My name is Huzak. My establishment is down the block from Greg's store on 10th Street.
Okay, we'll check. Operator, get me Mr. Gregg. Yeah, Greg's department store. Of course it is home. What else at this hour?
Archie had a plan. Excitement gripped him. But that habit of years was strong, and he talked to Esther as he piled her 3 coffins into the station wagon in the alley.
Don't you worry, Esther. In a half hour, you'll be at the bottom of the river. You shouldn't have laughed, Esther. And then I'll come back to May.
Sure. Archie had a plan, all right. But it didn't include the little old undertaker who knew a corpse when he saw one, or an angry, sleepy Mr. Gregg, or a confused police captain, who were right then coming to a stop in front of the store.
This is an outrage, a preposterous, fantastic farce. Getting me down here in the middle of the night to prove I have a corpse in my window.
I know, Mr. Gregg. I feel silly about it myself, but Mr. Huzak here seems so sure.
The curtains are drawn in front of the window. We'll have to go inside.
In a minute, you're all going to look very silly. There. Does that look like a corpse?
No. You're right. It's not a corpse. It isn't a dummy either.
She's alive. Breathing.
Something queer here. I'm going to look around outside.
Archie! Archie, go!
Archie didn't hear himself being paged. But at the entrance of the alley, he saw the police car in front, and he heard the police captain shouting from the sidewalk. That was when Archie decided it was better to be lonely. The lonelier, the better.
They found out. That's the police. They found out.
Hey, you!
Right now. Got to. They won't catch me. They won't. Got the lights, Fred. I gotta go through. Faster. Faster. Why can't it go faster? The truck. Turn right. Turn!
No one ever heard Archie's last words. They bubbled through his torn throat as he lay in the glass-smashed window through which he'd crashed. No one.
I'm so lonely. May. So lonely.
There's your Archie Gold. Bet those crates will be interesting.
Oh, awful. Awful.
Yeah, quite a mess.
No one was cruel enough to point out a gruesome bit of grisly humor. The lonely little man who'd spent so much time in display windows had created his final masterpiece. Archie had decorated his last window in Cusack's funeral parlor. The lesson we learned from tonight's story is that murder doesn't pay. It's a losing business. Murderers are always in the red. And it's strenuous work, too. You're bound to find yourself a little stiff.
Mr. Host, I did not like that story.
Well, neither did I, Mary. Imagine the Cozy Kitten Mattress Company pulling a smart advertising stunt like that on Lipton's time and for free.
Now, that's not what I mean at all. And if you're worried about Lipton's, let me assure you that Lipton's is the largest-selling brand of tea in the whole world. That's the kind of popularity that really counts. And, folks, if you'll just once try Lipton tea, I think you'll be convinced, too.
Well, I have to run along now, folks. Got some shopping to do in Greg's department store. What? Oh, I know it's late, but, you see, Archie and I shop at night to avoid the shrouds, you know. By the way, this month's Inner Sanctum mystery novel is Puzzle for Wantons by Patrick Quentin. Oh, and here's a special announcement. Next week's Inner Sanctum story, directed by Hyman Brown and brought to you by Lipton Tea and Lipton Soup. Next week's story is about a man whose dreams always come true. All he has to do is to dream that somebody's being murdered and... Enough to keep you awake, isn't it? Oh, until we meet again next Tuesday, you dream of me and I'll dream of you. Now it's time to close the squeaking door, so good night. Pleasant dreams.
Folks, here's a grand way to begin a meal. Serve Lipton's noodle soup. Lipton's takes no time to prepare, and yet it has a real fresh-cooked chickeny flavor. Yes, it tastes just like the chicken noodle soup you'd make right in your own kitchen. And Lipton's is economical, too. It costs less and makes lots more than canned soups. So, folks, don't forget to serve Lipton's noodle soup. And don't forget to tune in next Tuesday night for another Inner Sanctum mystery.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.